We have a return of the unique and still very confusing, at least to me, buggy choke, along with so many knockouts that happen within just the first 15 seconds of the fight, and LFA 119 is closing the week out with one of the most devastating head kick knockouts I've seen in a while. And the legend Caposa is who you need to thank for these videos, so head on over to Twitter and give him a follow at Grabaka_Hitman and show him some support. What's going on, everyone? It's the Casual, Lawton Veerkant, and this is Caposa's Corner. Kicking us off this week, we are heading to Extreme Fighting Championship 91 in South Africa for one fight. Here, we have a lightweight matchup that sees Cole Henning with a 3-2 record, and he's up against Tumasang Madiba, who has a 9-7 record, and is currently on a 4-fight losing streak. Yikes. And also, this knockout happens in literally 5 seconds, so...
Dragon Energy, high performance energy drink. Henning already. Oh, he's rocked him. Oh, it's all over. Wow.
Dear Lord, a left directly to the chin, which caused a brief delayed reaction, and then Madiba slips down and out to the canvas. He was so out that when he came to, he tried to wrestle the ref. But what a knockout by Henning as he gains this win in just 5 seconds, sets the record for the fastest EFC knockout in their history, and improves his record to 3-3. Now off to visit ACA 133 in Russia, where we have one fight. This is a bantamweight bout between Nikita Chistyakov, sitting at a 12-7-1 record, and he's taking on Nova União's gym member Macon Sylvan, who has a 16-5 record, and competed in Tough Brazil back in 2015. So he definitely sounds like he could be a threat, and as we're nearing the final 30 seconds of the second round, he proves that he's a threat.
Встает Чистяков, посмотрите, и может улучшить свою позицию. Колено пытается. Еще колено.
Локоть с разворота. Похоже, он чувствует, что может завершить этот бой. Досрочно все кончено. Этот локоть надо смотреть.
I'm not sure if you caught that, but this elbow makes direct contact with his neck.
Ooh, that got you right in the throat, huh?
And all he can do after that is turtle up, forcing the ref to stop the fight. What a performance by Sylvan, though, as he pulls off this dangerous spinning elbow, gains this win, improving his record to 17-5, and is definitely someone we're going to keep our eye on. Up next is Fight Nation Championships Armageddon 2 event in Croatia, where we've got one fight. For this welterweight fight, we have Đorđe Bukvić with a 2-1 record, and his opponent, Alexander Mihailovic, has only a 1-1 record. So most of these highlights that we feature on here are pretty self-explanatory, but then we have some that really need a second, third, maybe even a fourth look to see what just happened, and this is one of those. That literal masterpiece you just witnessed was a low kick into a feinted Superman punch, finished off by head kick directly to the dome, and Alexander is out. I mean, it just doesn't get much cleaner and more precise than that, but Bukvić pulls off this incredible win and improves his record to 3-1. Heading over to Italy now, where we have the Golden Cage 6 event with one fight to show you. This is a middleweight matchup between Konstantin Linik, who has a 27-21 record, ouch, and he's up against Walter Puglisi, who has a 7-3 record. He fought 2 fights in Bellator back in 2018 and 2019, and he probably has the most tattoos I've ever seen on a person, and for sure a fighter. Now, I have a few opinions on this one, so I'm gonna show you this intro and then the knockout.
Parte subito! Ginocchiata volante che porta a terra! Attenzione che partenza!
Do we agree that that was shitty? Walter clearly agrees to a glove touch, and I know it's the fight business, shit happens, and Konstantin should have probably assumed it was off given the fact he was sprinting towards him, and that's when this flying knee straight into the ground and pound gets him this win in just 7 seconds of the fight. Seems a bit controversial of a win to me, but Walter does secure it and improves his record to 8-3. Moving on, we are going to Arena Global 15 in Brazil for one fight. Here, we have a welterweight fight that sees Elias Figueiredo in the black and white shorts with a 1-7 record, and the 7 losses have been his past 7 fights. And he's up against Eduardo Silva, who's in the black and red shorts and only has a 2-1 record. So for this one, we only have this side angle, and it's not the highest quality of video, but it is a very high quality knockout. One single left hook and Figueiredo falls flat to the canvas and this fight is over. This fight only lasted 1 minute and Silva secures his third win as a professional and now gets to look back on this one-punch KO. Next, we're going to Home Fight Championship 3, also in Brazil for one fight. This is a flyweight matchup between Romero Reis with the 4-5 record, and his opponent, Diogo Lopes, has just a 4-4 record. So for this fight, we are actually in the beginning of the third round, and this is actually a little terrifying what happens next.
No golpe baixo, na outra joelhada voadora, onde o Galo foi arremessado.
Yeah, so this is one of those ones where it's just so bizarre and unique we had to show you. But first and foremost, as always with something like this, Lopes, who was the one ejected from the cage, he is fine and later this night went to the hospital where they determined no major damage was done, and he even walked out of the arena on his own after this. But it turns out the cage door is being held shut with a padlock that broke, and after Reis lands this flying knee to the face, it throws Lopes back hard enough to fly out of the cage. Truly a freaky scenario, and we are happy to see that no one was seriously hurt, and once again, the shit you see in MMA. Next up, we're going to Fusion Fighting Championship 48 in Mexico, where we have one fight. For this lightweight bout, we have Jesus Juarez with a 4-2 record, and he's taking on Antonio Ramirez, who has an 11-9 record. This fight lasts barely 30 seconds, and I've said this before, I've never been knocked out, but I might take a cold KO over something like this.
Se parece ahí al Cholo Bazooka.
¡Oh!
A spinning back kick directly to the liver, and Juarez just collapses to the floor in pain. He was down for almost 2 whole minutes because of this kick, but Ramirez secures this impressive first round win and improves his record to 12-9. Now we're going to National Fighting Championships Xmas Party event in Georgia, where we have one fight, and it's more so an honorable mention due to minimal footage, but just check it out. So that's Christian Turner, the one throwing this left hook and with a 3-0 record. And that's Dominic Colangelo, the poor soul trying to stand up and mid-transition is greeted by the left hook. Well, he has a 3-2 record. This hook lands so clean that he was dazed and confused for about 45 seconds. And again, we wish we had more footage than just these 2 angles, but it was also just too clean not to show you all. So congrats, Christian, on this nasty KO and for improving your record to 4-0. Still going, we are now looking at Fusion Fight League's Seasons Beatings event in Montana, where we have one fight. This is another honorable mention as we don't have any more than just the one angle, but it's just too good not to include. This is an amateur lightweight bout, and that's Derry Alderman on bottom with the red gloves, and he has only a 2-0 record, and he's taking on Mike Zindler on top, and he has a 5-1 record. So yeah, it's not looking good for Zindler as Alderman is trying to get in position to land the rare buggy choke, and after about 20 seconds of wrestling, he finally secures it and pulls tight, forcing the first round tap. Caposa said he'll never get used to seeing this weird looking submission, and I 100% agree because it still just looks entirely made up. But great submission win by Alderman as he improves his record to 3-0. And last but not least, we're visiting our friends at LFA 119 in Arizona, where we have one fight, and it is of course Caposa's KO of the week. Here, we have a flyweight matchup between Rodney Kealohi, sitting at a 5-2 record, and he's up against Clayton Carpenter, who has a 4-0 record, and actually trains at the MMA lab and has amateur titles in multiple areas like Muay Thai, BJJ, and even Golden Gloves boxing, so he's definitely got some things going for him. Oh, and would you look at that, this fight only lasts 13 seconds.
19. Huge knockout! Walk off knockout!
Yeah, damn. A left hook to wobble him, only for this huge head kick to send him stiff and down to the canvas. Not only does this improve Clayton's record to 5-0, but with his training support and already extensive past in the world of combat sports, that is just a recipe for success, and we know we'll be seeing more of this guy in the future. Another week and even more insane highlights thanks to Caposa, who you gotta be following by now on Twitter over at Grabaka_Hitman, And you can also show him some support by going to his Patreon at patreon.com/Caposa. And as always, thank you to these amazing organizations who host these events all year round and all across the world, and to the fighters, winners, and losers, and we will see you all on the next video. Peace!